Get out of this. Good morning. My name is Brian Snyder. I am the founder of Your Body Never Lies and the Your Body Never Lies College, which is an online mystery school. What I teach is healing and intuition, manifestation, personal power, spiritual warrior training, and all the fun stuff I've learned over the last 30 years. My story is very simple. I was born with a heart murmur, and my entire life I was told, starting about age, 3, that I had a hole in my heart, but that it would get better next year. And finally, when I was 15, the cardiologist said, it's not going to get better, and if you don't get an operation, it's not going to last another decade. So, being in the dysfunctional family that I was, my mother said not to worry about it, and that was the end of that. So I decided to pursue a spiritual life, and very quickly found my first teacher. She was a Wiccan, and part of the darker crowd, I found out, and didn't stay with her very long. But that did open my eyes to the possibilities of spiritual power, because what she showed me, and one of the stories she told me is that the I don't know what they're called, a pod, or it's been so long, but the coven, she was a part of in London, they had been betrayed by someone, and so they did a ritual, and the guy died the next day. And she was like, well, that's what happens, like, you don't mess with us. That was pretty dark. So they didn't murder him. They did a ritual, and then he got hit by a bus or something. The world is a magical place. That stuff actually does work, and it's in a parallel world that we already live in. It's all around us, and it's a world of feeling and sensation, whereas here in the West we really live in a world of thought and measuring and comparing and figuring things out. The difference is that when we live life through our mind, we are literally living in the past. And that's why we don't see the magic. When we live in the world of sensation and feeling, then we live in the moment. And we can feel and see and manipulate that magic. So that is the secret. That is, the long and short of it. The good news is that we are out of the dark ages. And, if you don't believe me, just ask yourself, how is this guy able to teach this workshop? So the Kali Yuga, or the dark age, ended in 2012. That's like there's an official line. But there's this long leading edge before and after of 20 to 40 years or something. So, or 50 years maybe. So this long amount of time before 2012, the mystery schools started releasing information, and the world began to re-spiritualize. So Reiki came in, was re-released in like in the 70s or 80s. That's one really good example. The power of breath work also returned in the 70s or 80s, and that's still around. That's really the beginning of the end of the Dark Age. So we are 10 years past the flip. We are in the next age. We are in an age where the darkness is being removed. So spiritual knowledge is a lot easier to learn. It's also a lot easier to remove layers that have piled on us and made those things harder to do. So that's what I'm going to show you when you come to my college. Today, I'm going to give you tips and tricks to help you on your spiritual path that will help in your day-to-day life, and that will help you sort of let go of this thinking world that we've like got our claws into and start enjoying more of a feeling or sensory world, which is where the magic really is. Because when you handle why your body needs to think about everything all the time, when you resolve that issue, and yes, it is an issue, not only will you feel safer, but you won't have to, worry about things so much. But when you stop worrying about things, what happens is you just start feeling, and you'll start to notice synchronicities more and more in your life. And then when you notice that you have control of those synchronicities, life really becomes magical and fun. So let's see what happens here. The one difference, I believe last week I talked about being here now, and also, love and charisma, that's right, and service. Service is key to everything. But another key to everything is energy, and it's about how energy moves. And energy really only moves in two ways. And if it's not moving one of these two ways, it's probably stuck. It's either moving away from us or it's moving towards us. And this is all forms of energy. I'm not only talking about chi or ki or mana, whatever. I'm talking about money, love, wind, anything at all. Any kind of energy that you would like to consider, the movement only happens in one of two ways, either away from us or towards us, okay? And in the distance, you can see it happening between other people, but you're not a party to that. It doesn't matter. What matters is energy that comes to you or goes away from you. And this is also the difference between doing and being. And this matters because doing is always energy out, energy out. This is outflow. If you are doing something, you are attempting to create a result, and that result is outside of yourself. That's doing. Doesn't matter if you're gardening or if you're washing a car or making a cup of coffee. If you are creating a result outside of yourself with an intention and a picture of what it's going to look like when you're done, you're outflowing. That's doing. Being is always inflow. If you're simply being, you're taking information in. You're noticing what's going on. You're noticing the obvious. So being, oh, spider. We got a spider right here. Ooh, there he goes. Come on. Thank you. Being, you notice what's going on around you, but while you're doing, you're not really noticing what's going on. You're actually labeling. So you're labeling your environment. You're telling yourself what this is and what that is. And, that all helps with thinking, because once you've got things labeled, now you can juggle them the way you juggle mathematical formulas, right? But in feeling, you're taking information in from the outside world. Thinking, if you are stuck in a thinking state and you see somebody and they give you a flirtatious look, and you're thinking, you're going to ask yourself, well, oh, do they like me? What's going on here? And you're going to try to think your way into something, try to figure it out, measure and compare that look to a look you saw before and wonder what's going on. But if you are simply feeling your environment and that person gives you that body language, then you feel it in your own body and you know exactly what it is because you felt it in your body. You don't have to think about it. You know she's flirting with you. So this is energy out. Let's draw that picture again. Is that picture on the screen? Okay. So this is energy out, and this over here is energy in. The very first class at the YBNL College is called Shift Your Inner Dialogue. It's also here on YouTube as a video. Shift Your Inner Dialogue at Your Body Never Lies. And that's youtube.com/free of limits. So does it fit up here? So YouTube, free of limits. The video is called Shift Your Inner Dialogue. It'll give you exercises to quiet your mind or to change what it tells you. Thinking, because it's energy out, it prevents us from noticing what's going on around us. And basically because we only flow one way at a time. If you've got a pipe, basically, energy is only flowing one way. Now, it's true we're actually more in a situation where information does get through. I mean, it's not 100%. Of course, while I'm talking to you, I can also hear cars driving by outside. That's information in. So there is some balance, but generally we're either sending energy out, it's like 96% and 4% is coming in, or we're taking 96% in and only sending 4% out. Like while we're taking information in, other people can maybe hear us breathe, right? There's still information leaving our body. This matters tremendously, all because of the choices we make in life. And this is why life gets so difficult and so stressful for us in the West. We've been taught that our self-value is based on what we do. What you do in life. Like, when you go to a cocktail party, what's the first thing people ask? What do you do? Right? They want to know how much to value you based on your job. It's ridiculous. When we put our self-value into what we do, then our body naturally aligns with this way of being, and we become basically human doings. Literally human doings. But you weren't born to be a human doing. You were born a human being. And here's what's really great about it. When you learn to simply flip into a state of being, which means there's no chatterbox, it means you're noticing more information from the outside world because energy is coming to you. When you do this, you get more information from the outside world. And with more information, then you can make a better choice in life. And that's basically it. We've always made the best possible choice for ourselves based on all of the information we had. And when we're human doings, we have less information than when we are human beings. This is just math. It's not mystical. When you are a human being and you are in inflow mode and you're just noticing what's going on around you, and you're feeling your body and noticing the sensations, you're getting a lot more information about the outside world than when you think about it. Because when you think about it, you're not getting energy coming in. What's happening, I'm going to draw a picture for that. When you're thinking, you're sending energy out, and whatever you see, right, it comes back at you a little bit. You measure and compare it to something that's already in your mind. So if somebody smiles at you a certain way, and this is what you see here, you're going to compare that to a smile you saw a long time ago and try to figure out what it means. And the difference between the two is going to help you. That's more information you can use to try to figure out what it means. But where you're getting your information from is all inside yourself. You're getting a little bit of data from the outside world, but then you're churning it to get all of your information. And then what happens? You make a choice that doesn't work out the way you think it's going to work out. Operating word being think. Of course it doesn't, because you didn't have enough information. On the other hand, when you are a human being, you're just relaxed and information is just coming to you. You notice more information. Now, when you make a choice, you're not measuring and comparing. You're just making a choice based on the information. And that is one way. Well, that's just the math of it, okay? Let's talk about in practical terms. Talking is high energy, right? Energy is going out. Talk, that's what I'm doing to you, talk. And listening, well, that's wrong. Drawing it towards listening, but I should draw it to our person here. So listening, energy is going in. Talking, energy is going out. If you are, or when you are, a human doing, you do not listen. You do something else. And I'm guilty of it too. It's called not talking. It's when you think of what you're going to say next instead of just listening to the person. Thinking, they're talking to you, and you start thinking about how you're going to respond, or what you're going to do with the information, or how you should file it away, or maybe you start thinking about whatever you're doing that is other than listening. It's called not talking. It's high energy. It's preventing information from getting in. So you aren't getting the information that you actually would benefit from to make a better choice in life. And here is why this is so critical. Because when you get new information in life, you get to make new choices. They might not be new, but they'll be based on a wider range of information, greater depth of information, more avenues of information. So when you make your choices about what college to go to, or who you want to date, or whatever else, it's based on as much information as you can gather. Because we always make the best choice for ourselves based on the information we have. You always have. Every single time in your life that you made a choice, it was the best choice you could make based on the information you had. Now, later in life, I do this too. Look back in my history and I see what a jerk I was, or I see how dumb I was, or how foolish. The reason it's called a rear view mirror is that we always look like beeholes, excuse the language, when we look at our history. If you look at your history and you don't see any mistakes or bad choices, that means you haven't learned any new information and you haven't grown. So shame on you. But really, if you're watching this video, you look into your history, you see all kinds of mistakes. You don't want to make those same mistakes again, right? And the answer is to be and to listen, and not just in your conversations with people, but in the world. Listen to that bird. Yeah, that bird squawking, you might not know what he's saying to his friends, but if you really listen and feel it in your body, that squawking bird might be alerting you to, I don't know, a thunderstorm behind you, or a car out of control, or who knows what. If you listen to the world around you, you can get information that will help you make great new choices. So there you have it. So how do you get to this place? How do I shut off my thinker? Well, watch that Shift Your Inner Dialogue video here on YouTube. And when you've got questions, you can ask me. That's it. If you would really like to get through it and really get into this information, then come to me, send me a note at yourbodyneverlies.org. Come to my school. Well, there's a link there, but it's also the ybnlcollege.com. .com. It's a network. It's not just a website with some workshops. It's got multiple classes. I've got 4 semesters I'm working on. There's 2 available right now. The 3rd one will be available by the end of July. 4th semester next year. That's teacher training. The college is also rooms, Zoom meetings, live streams, chat. It's like a mini Facebook, but for people who are into spiritual advancement. This path, excuse me, I need water, but all I have is coffee. The path starts here at YouTube. The videos from the 1st semester, at least the older versions, are on YouTube, and you can watch them for free. And then if I'm still doing it, which I currently am, you show up Saturday to my other channel and you can ask whatever questions you want about that material. You don't need to join the college to benefit from this information. It's priceless. That's why I give it away for free. Come to the college, you're basically paying for my time to help you with your questions to get through the material. And right now, the college is pretty empty, so you can have a one-on-one Zoom meeting almost, not every time, but sometimes. I'm also learning to do live streams there, so that's another way to get your questions answered. If there's any questions, you can type them in. Otherwise, I'm having a pretty long day here. It's getting close to, yeah, I got a late start, so sorry about that. I was on the wrong channel. Any questions about this, you can chat them in. I don't think there's anything much more to say for now anyway about the way energy moves. The first class of the 2nd semester is all about doing versus being, but it gets into great more detail. That chart goes on for, I think, 3 pages, the difference between doing and being. When you learn the difference and how it feels in your body between doing and being, and learn how to use that energy or that inflow versus outflow appropriately, life opens up in tremendous ways. The most obvious way is listening. If you can listen better than you used to, your friends are going to enjoy talking to you a lot more, for one, but also you're going to get way better information from which to base your choices. And, you know, that's just fundamental. It's just so basic. Anyway, that's the first class, and the 2nd semester is all about using that energy so you can get more information and make better choices in life. But it's also about having how to move energy in general. Excuse me. I'm not tripping out because I took a COVID test yesterday and I'm negative. Yeah, I just need water. I think I made a video about this a couple of years ago. If you care to look on this channel, like in the older videos, the universe always seeks balance. This is a natural law. Let me come over here. See that? So this here, that's a natural law. You can't get around that. The universe is always seeking balance. High pressure always deflates into low pressure. Talking always flows into listening, for example. We use this natural law along with our ability to sense, feel, and move energy to create win-win situations and to encourage the universe to help us in our intuition and our ability to manifest. Because once you see how the universe is willing and able and loves lining up with us, the world becomes a lot more fun. So anyway, I hope that's enough that interests you a little bit. Looking forward to seeing you at the college or answering your questions here next week. Again, my name is Brian Snyder. I'm the founder of Your Body Never Lies, and I'm looking forward to meeting you and talking about body language. So today is about doing versus being. And if you have any questions about this or any previous videos, just bring them here next Friday. And I'd love to interact with you. Thanks a lot.